Hi, today we'll talk about exit command in SQL Plus. So normally exit or quit command can be used to disconnect from the SQL Plus and coming back to your OS prompt. Normally people use exit command. By default, exit command commits any pending transaction before exiting from the SQL Plus. For example, let's say this is my session from my laptop. This is the HR user, and this is an employee record, employee ID 101. Now, if I go to my server and run this query from the VDOLS session, I see two HR session. One is from my laptop, Windows SQL Plus client. Another is from the server itself. One more session, HR session, which I'll use it here. I've changed the prompt to HR SQL, so I'll use it to track that same employee record from my local machine laptop and from the server. So let's say I update this employee record and update the salary to from 20,000 to 17,000. Now I do an update. Now it's not committed yet. So if I go back to my another HR session on the server and then run the check that employee record, I still see it is 20,000. It's not updated to 17,000 because I've not yet committed yet. But if I do an exit from here, did an exit. So if I go and run the same query again from another session, HR session, I see that it is changed back to 17,000. It's committed now because when you do exit, by default it commits any pending transaction. However, and if you can go to the server, you can see I see only one HR session from localhost. The second HR session from my laptop is disconnected. Now let's log in back. Now if I run the query again, I see 17,000. If I update that, let's say I update it back to salary 18,000. Now I go back to my local host HR session. I run the command. I still see 17,000 because I've not committed yet. So, but if I go here, there's an option called exit commit or rollback. You can say exit commit or exit rollback. This if I do exit rollback, it did an exit and it is rollback because if you log in back again and run it, it is rolled back to 17,000 again. So you can give an option exit commit or exit rollback for the exit command. Now this exit command, when you do an exit command, it commits by default. This is also controlled by a setting called exit commit. So if you do a show exit commit, it is on. That means when you do an exit, it will be committed. It is on. This is that behavior is controlled by this setting. I can make it exit commit off. Now it is off. So now if I exit, by default it will be rollback. It will not commit. So let's do that settings the example now. Now it is 17,000. Now change it back to 18,000. If I go back to my local host HR session, I still see 17,000. It's not committed yet. Now I just do an exit. Now log in back. When I see it is back to 17,000 because my exit commit is off. But every time you log in, it's on again. So by default, that exit commit is on. If I say set exit commit off, now it should roll back. But I'll do a exit commit. For example, if I change the salary back to 18,000 and do a exit space, I give a commit option, exit commit. So I go back to my other HR session. See, now it is changed back to from 17,000 to 18,000. So it is committed. So there are two ways you can, different level you can do from exit commit, or when you're exiting, you can give an option commit or rollback. There is also an option auto commit, that is like it's committed after every DML you do, it will auto commit. You don't have to type commit. By default, it is off. Show auto commit, it's off. If I say set auto commit on, and then let me run that, check the employee record and update to 20,000. See it, you you also see a commit complete message, because after every DML it will give an commit command by default, by implicitly you don't have to type commit, so you already see a commit complete. So in this case there is no role for exit commit settings, because it's auto commit on. So when you exit from SQL Plus, there is nothing, there will not be any pending transaction. There's one way, like if you, what happens if you cross from here, you cross this SQL Plus session, you don't type exit, or you do Control Z and exit. So in that case, what happens? Let's check. Logged in, and my auto commit is off. Every time you log in, auto commit will be off, exit commit will be on. And let me check my employee records at 20,000. I change it back to 17,000. Now update it. If I check the employee record again, it is changed to 17,000, but not committed yet, because if I check from the other session, it's still 20,000. Now what I'll do is I will just cross it from here. Cross, that's it. It's still 20,000, not updated yet. Now I will launch that SQL Plus again from my local machine and see whether it is committed or updated. So series 20 has rolled back. So if you cross it from here and you don't do a graceful exit, it will be any pending transaction will roll back. It rolls. It's actually what happens is this session will be just hanging on the server side, but there's a disconnect connection. So the PMON process will do a cleanup of the inactive or abandoned session or fund session, and will roll back any pending transaction and release the resource back to the system. So in that process, the transaction will be rolled back. Okay, so if you do Control Z, it does an exit, proper exit. So the transaction is committed actually. It was 20,000, now it is 17,000. If you do Control Z and get out of here, it is a proper exit. And you see the transaction is committed. Only when if you cross it from here, it does like a disconnect, abrupt disconnection. So yeah, so that's about exit command and how when things is committed and when things are rolled back. Thank you.